Here we are then, it's time for some rFactor 2. We're at the Nürburgring GP for 10 laps in the McLaren Senna GTR. Jake, have you got any fun facts for us? And of course, give us that grid.
Well, of course, this is going to be the last race of the competition. Kevin Siggy Rebenak has already technically got the job done, but he wants to bow out as the unbeaten force. He doesn't want to lose a single race in this competition. However, he will be starting on the front row of the grid alongside Erhan Jajovski again, and this is his specialty. rFactor 2 is where he usually cleans up, so he wants to bow out as the king of his game. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Then we've got that incredible battle for second in the points. You've got Isaac, Igor, and of course Erhan, who are now separated by just 2 points coming into this last race. They all want to bow out at the top. So that grid is obviously going to be very competitive. We've got Kevin and Erhan on the front row of the starting grid. Behind them, Isaac in third place, with Josh coming in fourth position. Another good race potentially from the Australian. With Igor there in fifth position in front of Jan, it's going to be a great race to bow out on.
Absolutely. Will we see the clean sweep? So here we go then, we're at Nürburgring GP. We've got 10 laps here for the race on rFactor 2. We've got Kevin Rebenak, who is on pole position, and we've got Erhan in second spot here. Can Kevin get that clean sweep? We're about to go green to find out here at the Nürburgring GP. That long run down in towards turn number 1. Here we go. There's the red lights. There's 3, 4, and there's 5. And they're about to go out here, and there's a false start in the back there. That is not ideal. I think that might be Josh. But as we come down towards turn number 1, it's a great start for Kevin. And well, can Erhan make up the ground here? Isaac around the outside in the orange car. We've got the turquoise and green cars going next to each other here as well, which is Josh and Igor. And well, you can see there, Isaac up the inside through turn number 2. But I think Erhan is going to get the power early around the outside. We're on board here with Igor, the Brazilian. Isaac trying to find a space there for P2. Not quite going to get it there as we come through the Mercedes section. It's looking very good for Kevin already.
It was Igor Rodriguez who got the jump start initially, but he's managed to get himself into fourth position. Now he's really got to work to try and extend that gap to Josh and Jan behind him. But this three-man battle is already taking a bit of a slice and dice action as Isaac gets right into the exhaust fumes of Erhan in front of him. Kevin is just trying to disappear out in front and skate away with the stars. He's going to have an absolutely superb run if this is anything to go by. Through the hairpin and back up the climb as they head up towards the S's. It's going to be a left-right sweeper, and you've got to time this one so carefully. Gentle blip of the throttle, careful on the curbs, lovely rhythm, and this is a very good run for Erhan. Can he get Kevin Siggy Rebenak under pressure?
Well, he's dealt with the pressure from Isaac. Isaac was side by side with him through the first 5 corners. And again, he's dealt with that. But it's given Kevin the opportunity to drive away. And it's normal service resumed then for Kevin. And well, right now, 1.5 seconds is the gap between the front 2. And Isaac not really putting that pressure then on the Macedonian in second spot. And we really could have done with Isaac maybe getting up into second spot. It's not quite worked out. But now Erhan can start to try and close that gap. But right now, Kevin is looking deliciously in the lead.
The one I'm keeping an eye on right now is Isaac Gillison in third position. You've got to remember that he and Erhan Jajovski are actually tied for points in second in the standings, 19 apiece. So whoever beats the other is going to be the runner-up in this competition. And Erhan Jajovski is absolutely desperate to take something out of this competition. Second position would do nicely, considering that the man up front has already got one hand on the trophy. But the man behind him, Isaac Gillison, has been one of the best drivers at recovering from a difficult position over the course of the competition. Don't forget how he came from 5th on the grid at Brands Hatch on Assetto Corsa Competizione to finish 2nd. This guy's got bags of talent. Is he going to be able to put the Macedonian in front under pressure?
Well, yeah, qualifying for this competition, he had to. He made a name for himself by being the overtake master in the Logitech G EU Challenge and the World Finals. He had to come from behind 4 times in total, so he's got an opportunity to overtake. He will take it as well. But he's not quite close enough now. But again, it's giving Kevin the opportunity to indeed drive away. Josh then, currently in P5, in behind Igor. But Igor did indeed have a start.
Yeah, this is an interesting battle between these two as well. Josh Perwin giving a little bit of a hassle to Igor Rodriguez up in front. But the Brazilian and the Australian have been at each other's throats most of the week, and Josh really wants to finish this week on a high. If he can get on terms with Igor, he's got a great chance. Igor's the one who's made the first real mistake of the race, unfortunately. That jump start definitely not helping him, and he had to make the gain on the 2 guys up the road from him because he's 2 points behind them in the standings with a chance to get into second in the overall points. But let's not forget, you know, there's 8.5 laps to go here, and it's a tough old track, the Nürburgring. It's easy to catch drivers out.
Absolutely, but again, these are the 2 drivers we've been saying have grown during this competition. Both very young men, of course, and Igor, first event for him in the racing terms was on Forza, his strength. That is his bread and butter, and he did not perform. But ever since then, on all of the games he's not so comfortable with, he's absolutely smashed it, got quicker and quicker and quicker. It's not going to be an easy task there for Josh. We've got Jan then in the back there as well, who is he's on the wheel, which is going to be more comfortable for him.
I wanted to pick up Jan actually because his pace in this one is so much stronger than it has been on some of the other titles where he's had to deal with either the gamepad or a bit of a difficult route to get back up to speed, and Jan is actually staying with these two up front. Let's not forget that because he hasn't got pedals, he's having to be very careful on the throttle and the brake. It's basically all or nothing on that brake pedal, so he's going to struggle in terms of being able to dab it to the same effect. These guys can be a little bit easy on the brake pedal. For Jan, it's all or nothing, and he is coping with that so beautifully.
Yeah, I was speaking to Bono Huis, who indeed did help set up the wheel earlier on, and he's using the paddle, so it is effectively a button, so there's no leeway in between braking and of course using the throttle, so he's got it all to do here. But I tell you what, he is really doing well here, keeping up with these two guys in front, and if these guys can tangle, potentially a top 4 is in the offering.
Well, let's not forget that Igor Rodriguez has obviously got the jump start, so that's already potentially a place that he's going to gain. Back on board with Erhan Jajovski, he is actually keeping very good rhythm to Kevin up front. Kevin Sigi-Rebenak's not being allowed to disappear too far out in front, as Erhan Jajovski really wants to pressure him.
There's a mistake there by Ziggy, unfortunately, running out onto the gravel trap there. He's recovered pretty well, but Erhan's got to be looking at thinking there's an opportunity here.
Well, absolutely, and you've got to remember that Kevin Sigi-Rebenak wants a clean sheet of paper. He wants every single competition to have 6 points next to his name. Erhan Jajovski would love to wipe the smile from his face on what is his specialty. rFactor 2 is his game as far as he's concerned, and he wants to take it to the man up front.
Yeah, for sure. Here we're starting lap number 4 then, and of course the top 3 right now are Kevin Sigi-Rebenak. We've got Erhan, keep forgetting names here. We've got Erhan in second spot, and then of course we've got Isaac Gillison in third. And those have been the 3 standout drivers throughout this competition. It's a shame that Isaac's just lost a little bit of pace here at Erhan, but it's going to give him the opportunity to indeed try and chase down Kevin. He's got no pressure from behind.
Well, Isaac is still very young. He's 19 years of age, you've got to remember. This is his first major opportunity at this level, and he has really taken it. What he's done from the Logitech G Challenge finals is he's really used this as a platform to strengthen him as a competitor, as an athlete, as a disciplinarian. He's really starting to come alive, and I have a feeling that when he returns to this competition, if he gets another opportunity in 2020, he could be easily the favourite to dominate.
Yeah, for me, he's had the hardest route here. So he had to be not only the quickest in the Netherlands when he did the time trial at the Benelux, he then had to win the Logitech G EU Challenge, which is out the whole of the EU. And then, once he won that wasn't done. He had to go to Vegas and be the world champion.
Big wobble for Jajovski. Massive, massive problem there. That could have really spat the car out to the chicken house. He was very careful there to keep it on the straight and narrow. That was a really slippery moment, and he was very, very clever there to basically blend off the power, get back up to speed again. He would have lost a good half second to Kevin Sigi-Rebenak, but he could have lost a hell of a lot more. Good control from the Macedonian.
Absolutely. Well, we've seen Kevin there, of course, go into the gravel trap the previous lap, but he's now just a bit more relaxed. He's got that gap there. He's got no pressure on his shoulders right now. Of course, he's a couple of seconds in the lead. He can take, a couple of tenths off of his lap times, but Erhan has it all to do. So you can see there he is on the absolute limit. But of course, we've just been talking about Isaac. Not that far behind, so any mistake made by Erhan, Isaac's going to gobble it up.
Yeah, and they're trading sector times as well. There's not a massive difference between them in terms of the different splits. So Isaac is right there to pounce. If Erhan gets it slightly wrong, he is absolutely a sitting target for Isaac in third place. So the pressure is on, actually. These two, dead level in the points, of course, for second place. Neither can afford to make a single mistake at this point, especially as we approach the half-distance point. This is lap 5 out of 10. They'll have 5 to go at the end of this one, and neither man can afford a single lapse in concentration.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up to the halfway point of this race. Indeed, you're right, but it is in the order they have been in this championship, and you can't really argue with that. But look at this, though. Igor is still, Josh has made the overtake here, so Josh is up ahead of Igor now. But again, Igor has got, we don't know what penalty he has received for it. Have we got a penalty for this?
It looks like he's got to serve a drive-through.
Oh, man, that's the worst of penalties then. So he will have to come and serve a drive-through penalty. And, wow, Nürburgring pits are really long as well. It's like one of the longest on the calendar. So, yeah, not ideal then for Igor, which is going to give Josh an opportunity here. And it's also going to give Jan an opportunity for a top 5.
Yeah, Josh is going to get into 4th position. He's not quite going to score enough points over the course of the race unless something happens up front to overtake Igor in the standings. But it's been a very impressive effort all week from Josh Berwin. You've got to remember he's 17 years of age, the youngest man in the competition, came through from race to Singapore. and has been very much on the back foot because his preferred game is not part of this competition, so he has really had to dig deep and do his homework, and he's really been excelling everywhere he's come. For Igor Rodriguez, this is going to be very frustrating. He had an opportunity to get second in the points, and this drive-through penalty has just washed it all away.
Oh,
he's
big
done
mistake
a great
there by
job.
Josh here. Igor not quite close enough to take full advantage here. Is he going to take the drive-through now? No, he's not. So he's going to try and utilise the slipstream here and try and get the overtake done. But we're talking about adversity. Igor's qualified from Forza. He was a pad user. He's had to transition to the wheel for this event, and he's just getting better and better and better.
So the race continues on, and there is Jajovski tucked up behind the man in pink, Kevin Sigi Rebenak. He's caught him.
Wow, he has caught him here. This is very close indeed. Looks like Igor may have actually been disqualified for ignoring the drive-through penalty.
Oh, what a shame. The Brazilian has done such a good job all week. Let's not forget he was in second place at Brands Hatch in the previous race. So he had a good opportunity, and it's just fallen apart from these last two races. What a shame for the Brazilian, but he's done such a good job, and I can't wait to see him out again next time.
Absolutely, very, very young, bright future ahead of that young man. But we're looking at the leaders here, and it looks like Kevin might be struggling a touch here. And, you know, championship sewn up. What do you do here? In this position, do you obviously want to win the race, you want to get that clean sweep, but ultimately, you know, it's got nothing to lose, I guess, really, to be honest.
Jajovski's pushing like crazy.
Yeah.
If I'm Kevin Sigi Rebenak, I know what Kevin is like. I'm a racing driver. I am going to keep him at bay. He's not going to want to lose this to Erhan at all. They've been the two dominant forces of this competition. They have been swapping paint all the way through the year and all through this competition, and they actually did, of course, last time out.
That's the big factor here. You know, there's going to be some sort of maybe payback here. Erhan, of course, didn't finish the race at Brands Hatch with the damage from turn number 1, which was deemed a racing incident, which I definitely agree with for the incident. But he's going to have a little bit of a bee in his body. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to want to get that done.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a real test of Kevin Sigi Rebenak's character here, because he's going to get that pressure from Erhan. From Erhan's point of view, he's got nothing to lose. It's already gone. So he wants to win and bow out on the top step. But for Kevin Sigi Rebenak, he will not want to lose this race. He wants to have an absolutely flawless record. He has taken 6 points from every single competition. At the Dunsfold track day, he got the most improvement points. He won at Forza, won at Real Racing 3, won at Assetto Corsa. He will really want to hang on to this absolutely straight and narrow victory across the entire competition. That's how he'll want to win this title.
I'll tell you what, whose eyes are going to be wide open right now? It's going to be Isaac Gillison, because he's going to hope these two do indeed start battling, then he can close the gap and have a potential three-way battle for that race lead. But I tell you what, Erhan is looking very dangerous indeed. He's the quickest man on track now, that is for sure here. So Kevin maybe struggling with the tyre temperatures here. He has pushed it, obviously, to get this lead. But now Erhan is looking very strong. And of course, this is Erhan's strength as well, this game here. rFactor 2 is his bread and butter. So you know, he will not want to get beat on his own game.
Yeah, Erhan has raced in multiple campaigns. Yeah, that was a big mistake for Rebenak. Big mistake for Rebenak. Now, that's a big one. I was going to say, Erhan Jajovski, you know, he races on this particular title day in, day out. As you say, this is exactly his level of expertise. And Kevin Sigi Rebenak making the biggest mistake of his competition, pretty much so far, as he's now under massive pressure from the Macedonian. These last 3 laps are going to be an absolute barnstormer between the 2 fastest drivers in the competition, with Isaac Gillison waiting in the wings to pounce if anything cooks up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, every single race so far in this championship, Kevin's done the hard work early. He's been so far ahead, no one's been able to put the pressure on. Now all of a sudden he's got someone right in his wing mirror, and well, he's starting to crack, I would like to say here. Isaac, though, again, is going to look to pick up the pieces. Slipstream now will take effect, of course. Not quite close enough to make a move into turn number 1. 3 laps remaining here. It's anyone's for the win right now out of the top 3.
Unless Kevin Sigi Rebenak makes a big mistake, he's not going to get his chance on lap 8, which is what we're on. He's going to get it on lap 9. He's going to want to try and get it on the penultimate lap and really start to basically stretch out as much of a gap as he possibly can to avoid a retaliation. Isaac Gillison, though, has been motivated by this. He can see that these two are tightening up. He needs to put himself in the right place at the right time to basically take advantage. If anything were to kick off, if there were fireworks again between these two, he needs to be in the right place at the right time.
Another lock up there by Kevin, so he's definitely not comfortable here. It's all about the exit speed here, and actually done pretty damn well. But Erhan is, well, he's wiping the sweat off. It's perhaps the first time we've seen him really sweating here today as well. Him, especially Kevin as well, they've been cool as ice. But right now he is feeling the burn. But he's in second. Was it easy to be a chaser, or is it easier to be in the lead for you right now?
Oh, it's definitely easy to be the guy in pursuit because you can see what the guy in front is doing. You can really read the situation. You can see where he's vulnerable. You can see where his breaking point is, and you can try and stretch it out that extra meter or two to try and gain a little bit more of an advantage. But both guys have completely different agendas here. Kevin Siggy Rebenak wants the perfect score as far as he's concerned. He's not quite going to get all 30 points, but he's going to get 29 if it stays like this, which is the maximum he can now get from this, essentially. And it's an absolutely fantastic run. But this is all about Erhan Jajovski. Erhan Jajovski's in a tricky situation.
Oh,
he
wow,
nearly lost it completely
slapper.
out of the
Wow.
chicane.
So up in towards the final corner here with 3 laps to go. That's the big mistake there. He's run wide, and Isaac not quite close enough. And well, Kevin, he's going to have a huge smile. Well, he won't have a smile on his face. He doesn't have any emotions. He's like a robot driving. He's ridiculous. But yeah, he's going to be a very happy man right now with that mistake happening.
To be fair, that is not the man I thought would blink first. Erhan Jajovski pushing very hard over the chicane curbs there, and the car just tank slapped away from him. He was lucky to save it. And Isaac Gillison will be grinning from ear to ear now. He knows that the guy whose specialty is rFactor 2 is struggling. He's sliding around a little bit now. And this is, look at the car, it's so loose. He's not able to get whatever it is. Maybe he's overcooked the tyres in trying to get back on terms with Kevin Siggy Rebenak. But at the moment, that car is sliding around like it's on ice cubes at the moment. He's really struggling to nail it to the apex.
Yeah, for sure. The pressure is definitely telling on that young man then from Macedonia. And you can see here that Kevin got himself a nice, comfortable gap once again with 2.5 laps remaining, down towards a hairpin then on lap number 8. And Erhan again, it looks like he's almost fighting with the wheel at this point. It doesn't look as comfortable as he has all day. You know, these three, the top three especially, they've looked really, really relaxed all day.
It's another lockup, though, from Kevin Siggy Rebenak. He's not got the job done yet, and he's still feeling a little...
that's a
big tank
big...
slapper! Can he save it on the exit? Yes, he can. Erhan Jajovski now is able to read that situation. Both of them pushing their cars to the absolute limit. Look at the tyre temperatures on Erhan Jajovski's car. He's really struggling with the left side of the car through there, and it's getting very hot on the rubber. So he's really got to nail these braking apexes for the last lap and a bit. Kevin Siggy Rebenak really struggling.
Under braking here, really struggling. I'll tell you what, Isaac Gillison's going to be licking his lips at this opportunity here because the front two do not look comfortable whatsoever, especially in the harsh braking zone. So let's check out turn number 1 as they come down the big long start-finish straight here to start lap number 9. And well, yeah, both struggling, both locking up here, tyre temperatures all over the place. Can Isaac Gillison potentially still one? Lock up there again by Kevin. Erhan hits the apex nicely. So actually, to be fair, they've recovered pretty well.
Last lap, and they're in the Mercedes arena, and this is where it's all going to start getting pretty squirrely for the man up front. Kevin Siggy Rebenak pushing his tyre temperatures to their absolute limit. Erhan Jajovski has got experience of when the car starts to get a little bit loose, so he's actually going to have a little bit more of an advantage.
Big off
but
there.
He loses
Erhan
traction.
gone. That's not good there. He's run completely wide, lost a lot of time there. You can see that the rear was also snaking as well. So yeah, he's not able to get the power down as early as we'd like to. And Kevin will indeed gain more time. But unfortunately, in third spot, Isaac's not really close enough to pounce.
He's done everything he possibly can, but he's also got to factor in the tyre temperatures. He's got to look after the brakes. He's got to keep his car in the best possible shape. And unfortunately, he's just not able to attack in quite the same way that the two guys up front are able to as a result of that. Kevin Siggy Rebenak and Erhan Jajovski still pushing like crazy. Look at how much curb Jajovski is willing to take in the chicane. He is absolutely on the lock stops. He is absolutely flirting with that limit.
He has to, you know, it doesn't matter whether he comes first, second or third in this race. He's not going to win the championship, unfortunately, but he will want to go out with a bang, so he's giving it absolutely everything. So it's almost like if you're not first, you're last.
Well, this is it, the final breaking point into the chicane for the last time, and Kevin Siggy Rebenak's got all the cards in his hand here. He's just got to take it nice and easy. Perfect exit, one more corner. This is his title to claim.
Absolutely here. We've actually, around the final corner, Coca-Cola curve. And I tell you what, it has been an unbelievable display then for Kevin Rebenak. He has won the championship, he's won the race. He's got a clean sweep, unbelievable display then by the pink driver. In second spot then will be Erhan, and in third will be Isaac Gillison.
Well, an amazing week it has been for Kevin Siggy Rebenak. From the Dunsfold track day all the way through the different disciplines, from Forza to real racing to Assetto Corsa, here to rFactor 2, he has been absolutely exemplary throughout, and what a star. He has really taken this competition by the throat. What an amazing performance. You've got to give the full credit to the guys behind him, though. 6 completely different drivers from 6 different disciplines. And there has been a really tough challenge. You know, we didn't quite see the results we were going to see each time. They've worked, they've been absolutely perseverant all the way through the week, and the right champion has been crowned. It's been an amazing competition.
Well, yeah, there we have it then. Congratulations to Kevin on being the McLaren Shadow Champion. Thank you for watching.
If you enjoyed this race, check out the full finals coverage on the channel. There's a link in the description below.